Hey everyone, it's Penny here, Penny Plouts from Well Power, and I have made the most amazing discovery today. It might not be news to you, but I have just discovered that I can do this on my MacBook Pro. So I'm very excited because I have a big screen and I can maybe see your names and your comments and all of that better. Hello, Glenn. So nice to see you. Okay, so I'm a little bit late tonight. I had a very long day at work, but I just got home. So I just have to explain a few things today about my getup. So as some of you may or may not know, I work at Clinton Community College, and that's why today we had an ugly sweater contest at our, and Gilbert's here, yay, and Tremess is here. That is so exciting. So yes, I just got home from the ugly sweater contest at our center, and so that's why I'm wearing this getup. But it's a new hat day, so I'm wearing the, and Retta's here, hey, the Pippi long stocking. I just really have to show this to you because it is the longest hat and scarf I have ever seen. It's like 2 in 1. So it's very, very exciting. So it's just been one of these days. I decided today I'm going to go totally off script. I mean, the thing is, I had all of these 12 tips written out, and today was one of those days. Do you ever have one where you're just totally discombobulated from the get-go? Yes, if you have ever had one of those, please send me some thumbs up or some hearts or something like that, because and Jennifer's here. Hey, Jennifer. So if you've ever had one of those days, it doesn't have to be today, but it seemed to be that way. But the really good news was today that even though, so I guess we've all had some of those days. Yes, okay, that's the jackpot question. So I'm just going to talk about that a little bit today instead of the coaching tip I was going to tell you, because I think it's also important to know how to manage bad days or cranky days or grumpy days or whatever, because just from the get-go I was not having a good day because all the dogs wanted to be on the bed and doing all sorts, like waking up early and all of that. So that started things out kind of interesting. But you can always, like I have said before in some of these other comments or these other series, is that you're always one thought away from a new perspective. So I kept resetting, I kept course correcting throughout the day. But it's finals where I work during the day. I work at Clinton Community College, clearly. And so it's finals, and some people were having, lots of stress at the end of the semester. So that's a tough thing for students. And then, like for me, their advisor, because I want to help them, and sometimes it just does not work out so well for them in the end. But we did have this ugly sweater contest, which really made things fun because some of those students had some really, really awesome sweaters. And if you have an ugly sweater, I would invite you to just go put that on right now and hang out with me with this getup on. So anyway, the good news is, the really good news is that somebody was smart enough to bring puppies. I'm not kidding, puppies. We had 3 little black lab puppies. And, who doesn't do better when you have a little puppy in your hand and a little puppy breath and all the little things about the puppy. So all the bad news or all the stress and all that went out the window when I saw the puppies. Yeah, puppies are great. And puppy therapy. I love puppy therapy. So that was really awesome. But I did want to talk about this idea of not getting your tinsel in a tangle. Do not get your tinsel in a tangle. It is so easy. It is so easy to be triggered this time of year by just about anything. And the truth is, a lot of times we're just scared about something, or we are just overwhelmed, or we're afraid something's going to go wrong, or just something like that. And so today I kept trying to get at what was underneath my crankiness. And first of all, I was saying, well, maybe lack of sleep, because I had that thing going on with the dogs, and they had to go out in the middle of the night, and then they wanted to be up earlier and all of that stuff. But then I was also thinking about how much I was trying to get done in a very short period of time, and that was really stressing me out. And I feel like sometimes what happens is I'll be thinking so much, I'll just start spinning in my head, and I'm like, oh, I've got to do it all, and I've got to do it all perfectly. And then I sort of leave my body. Like I don't stay present in the here and now, and then I forget to do things like stop at a stoplight or something. So not saying that that happened today, but anyway, but then I'm like, whoa, what's really going on and what's important, and why do I keep rushing to do things when there's plenty of time and space for me to get things done? So I had a coaching call with my coaching group today, and I do want to say that when people say, when's the best time to get a coach? And I would say anytime, and especially when you are helping other people, when you when you're coaching other people, you really want to be coached yourself, because it's always interesting to think that we know a lot, which we all do, but it's always good to get someone else's perspective. And so today, my very smart coaching group said to me, guess what, Penny? You can do it any way you want to. You can just make this up. It doesn't have to look like everybody else's, because I was saying that I was just kind of getting a little uptight about not having all your gifts ready to go and not being able to do some of the things that I wanted to do. Yeah, thank you for the heart with the emails, and it's okay. The other day we were advised to take massive, imperfect, hello Tina, it's good to see you, massive, imperfect action. And so I'm thinking, I've got that one down. I've been taking a lot of action and it's really imperfect. And where I get really discombobulated is when I think it's got to be all together and that everybody's expecting something. Let me know if any of you ever get a little caught up in expectations, like you think things are supposed to go a certain way. Has that ever happened with any of you? Have you ever had these expectations, more so maybe of yourself, about how you should know how to do it perfectly right off the bat? Because I have to tell you, this is the first time I've ever done the 12 days of coaching. So I did not know how very exciting it would be to spend some time with all of you. But I also didn't realize how much goes into it, and how every single night that I've done this, there's been some little glitch somewhere. Like tonight, I left my notebook with all my notes at school. I guess in the excitement of the ugly sweater contest and the 3 puppies arriving, I got a little excited, and I got home, and my notebook's there, and I know what the tip was, and I will share that tip with you tomorrow. But I did think that this one, don't get your tinsel in a tangle, I did think that this one was really important to talk about today, just because I think at this time of year it's so easy to get our tinsel in a tangle. Is anyone in it had their tinsel in a tangle this week? Maybe not today, like me. Like mine was in a tangle all day today, but I seem to be chilling out because I'm in the presence of all of you, and you are calming me down. And it's just sometimes the best thing to do when you get really upset or stressed out is just to feel it, just to allow yourself, instead of trying to push it away and not feel it and pretend like everything's fine. I think that's about the worst thing that you can do. Yeah, just to make sure. Oh, I do realize what you're saying. And just, oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's, just going back to, sometimes I get lost. As I mentioned before, I'm now on my computer tonight, so now I'm getting used to, I used to have to read the messages, really tiny little messages right across the bottom of my screen, and now I can see them a little bit better. So I'm just talking about how do you all handle stress, and do you allow yourself to feel the emotions, feel where you feel it in your body, and then like express it and then let it go? Or do you just hang on to it and keep worrying and keep worrying and keep worrying? Because I don't know about you, but that doesn't really work for me very well. I like to write them out. Or one thing that Gilbert, you would know, is tapping. Tapping works a lot. I don't know if you've probably heard me talk about tapping or EFT, and Chelsea's here. Hi, Chelsea. So we're just talking about how we manage cranky days and how don't get your tinsel in a tangle. That wasn't really the tip for today, but I just thought we should talk about it, because sometimes when we get, so we're more than halfway through the program today. Did you realize that? We're just really moving right along. And there's always that point when you do something and you're feeling really ambitious when you start. Does anybody get there? It's like you really want to start off great, and then about halfway through you're like, wow, this is more work than I thought. And then you think, well, it doesn't matter, and then you don't finish. Or maybe you're a big finisher. How many of you love to start a project? If you love to start a project, just send those thumbs across or those hearts across if you love to start a project. Or are you better at finishing a project? Some people bring in what they call the closers. Again, Gilbert, you would know about this in real estate. You know, we need the closer. So some of you like to close more, but the middle of a program is where things get hard, because you're almost too invested to stop. And yet you just have to believe that you're going to get to the end. And I mean, I'm definitely going all the way in this program because we've got 12 really great tips to share with you. And that's not an issue, but I'm thinking about so many other times when you're doing a really hard project. You know, if you're, well, I suppose you wouldn't do it if you're building a house, but that can be equally time consuming, and then all the decisions you have to make. I think, and then like having a baby, that would be another case where you might say, what was I thinking? But you're usually not going to be able to do anything about that except go through it, the whole thing. But have any of you had any projects where you've gotten into it? Like I know I've written a couple of books, and I always think it's such a great idea when I say, okay, I got a book deal, I'm going to start this. But then somewhere in the middle of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I ever think I could write a book? So, and I'd love to know if you have any tips. And Jessica's here. Hello, my Jessica, how are you? So we're just talking about what happens on cranky days, or when you hit that sort of point in your project when you just feel like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking, and I can't go on. And so I always like to remind people that you just hold the vision and have the vision out there of what you want to do. See, what's pulling me forward is not only knowing that, I mean, it's very exciting and it's really comforting for me to know at the end of the day, no matter how bad my day has gone or how great it's gone, I'm going to have some people to celebrate with. I don't know about you, but if you like being in this community, just send those hearts across again, because that's such a boost. And I really love to see, I love to know that you're there. And so what do you do to help yourself get through a day, or if anybody's got any ideas? And Greta, you might shoot the bow and arrow because you're an archer. Tina, I know you're just up to good things all the time. So, and I've seen some really cool pictures of, and some of you might like to cook. Gilbert, I know, loves to read books. Jessica is an artist, and so I'm guessing you know, whatever art form that you do is fun. All right, planning, and then try. No, that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, yeah. When you have kids involved, that also makes it really interesting, because their idea of something that we might think is a drag, they think is a total adventure. So it's always good if you have some little ones around. That sometimes applies to dogs too. I can hear my dog right outside the door, and she's just pacing around there like she wants to break in and chew something. Or fortunately, I don't have my screen behind me, so there wouldn't be any pulling down of that. But general mischief and mayhem, that's what she's all about. So anyway, that's my topic of tonight. And tomorrow you're going to get a 2 for 1, because this wasn't really tip number 7, but it just occurred to me that sometimes oftentimes coaching is talking about things that we don't like to talk about, the things that happen, but we pretend that they don't happen and we're fine and everything's just fine. But that makes us get our tinsel in a tangle when we don't do that. And Jody's here. Hi, Jody. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're talking about don't get your tinsel in a tangle, and the kind of stress and things that sort of come around this time of year. I mean, sometimes there's the extra pressure of extra shopping, and then sometimes we're not always eating that well because we're eating a lot of sugar and sweet things, and even though they feel good to eat them, then later we maybe don't feel so good. So I'm just wondering if you all can think of some things that you can do to nurture yourself during this particularly stressful time. I mean, there's things that you always do, but then there's the added pressure of maybe some of you have Christmas parties, which might be fun, but for other people, Christmas parties can just be a little stressful. So, so what can you do to counteract the stuff that maybe might be making you a little uptight and a little nervous and a little wigged out? So, and you know, maybe if you just put on an ugly Christmas sweater or sweatshirt, or you know, a fun hat or something like that. They don't have to be big things, and they don't have to cost a lot of money, but they do need to nurture you in some way so that you can feel like, okay, I'm in the middle of this big project, I'm in the middle of this Christmas season, I'm in the middle of all this, and yet I still know how to take care of myself. And I have to say, you all are doing a really great thing by hopping on here with me. I really appreciate it, because even just hearing 5 or 10 minutes of some coaching tips is a really good way for you to nurture yourself. I know for me, even though it takes a little bit of energy to help me get set up, I always get off this call and I feel really energized because of all of you. I mean, I think of you taking your time out of your day to spend some time with me. So I really want to give you something valuable and share something with you, even if it's just a funny story about puppies or Christmas sweaters or hats, something like that. So anyway, I would love to hear if somebody can tell me something really exciting and great that happened to you today, like the puppy showing up in my life tonight. I mean, it couldn't have really been any better timing, because these puppies were only 3 weeks old, and they were black labs, and so cute, so cute. And it's public speaking, so sometimes people will bring in different things for their demonstration speech. And I think this was just to bring us comfort and joy. So yeah, what would be that thing that brings you comfort and joy? Maybe that would be it. If you want to just write one word in the chat box, that would be awesome, because I'm on my computer tonight, which is a whole new thing. Here's the other thing. I'm just going to give you one more tip. I'm giving you like 5 tips in one in a cranky day. What I'm learning is that when you follow some of the other tips that I've said, like start before you're ready and start where you are, while you're doing things, the technology and the whole process of doing it, you learn things that you can't know that you even needed to know when you started, just by simply starting Mexican food. Right, Gilbert? We need to go to the Mexican food. I'm a little bit hungry, so that would be awesome. If you were here, we could just go over and grab a bite. Yeah. Okay, so we've got hugs from little humans. That oh my gosh, yeah, that helps a lot. Little humans, little canines, little felines, little anything. Yeah, except maybe those. I was at a restaurant today, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was on. What are they? Oompa Loompas. That's what those things were called. Oompa Loompas. Yeah, those were. I'm not sure about hugs from them, but yeah, stop teasing. Yeah, it'd be nice. Just takes a little flight over. And Gilbert's in Detroit, so it would take him a little time to get here. And most of you are a little bit far away, except Jody. Jody's here. Jody's here in town. So yeah. So anyway, now I forgot what I was talking about. Maybe another tip, but about learning things. And now that I can do this on my laptop, I'm really excited. And I do have to tell you just one more thing. So last week, my laptop had to go to the fix-it place, but it was awesome because I'm just learning. I've just switched over to Mac. I've always had just a regular PC before, and on my birthday this year, that was kind of a big deal. I got a MacBook for my birthday, and I took it when I was traveling a couple weeks ago, and all these horizontal lines came all over the computer, and it was very sad. And luckily, I went to a place where they had an Apple store, and then unfortunately at the Apple store they said, oh no, this is bad news, you're going to have to send it in. But I did. I sent it in on Monday, and then I had it back by Friday, and it was fantastic. And now it came back, and now I can do Facebook Live right on the computer instead of my phone. So that makes it very exciting. And it looks like I can split the screen, so I might be able to invite some of you to come on, and you could even give your tips. Maybe we'll do that for our final party. What do you think? I could just invite different ones of you. And I know some of you are a little bit worried because you're afraid when I say your name that I can see you, but I really can't see you unless I invite you to join me, and then you can jump on the screen with me. So some of you who really want to try Facebook Live, you can jump on with me, and that would be awesome. You had a very special delivery today. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, did anybody have something super nice happened today? I'd love to hear it. Oh, Retta, that sounds great. Retta had a special delivery today. And I had those puppies that showed up. And anybody else? Gilbert, what happened for you today? Did something good happen? Did you make a sale? Did you, did you ask someone out on a date? I mean, there's all kinds of exciting things that can happen. Glenn, did you have something good happen to you today? I'd love to hear about it. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Sometimes I tend to ramble when I'm on here by myself and I see all you guys. So I'm just going to wrap it up, and I'm going to, instead of be cranky, I'm going to be jolly, by golly. So I'm not letting this happen, but I'm letting this happen now. And thanks to you for joining me, I can be jolly, by golly. And tomorrow is Thursday. That will be our last day this week that we'll do the Facebook Live, and then we'll wrap it up next week. But tomorrow you're going to get 2 tips and 1. That's it. And Jane's here. Hi, Jane. Yes, yes, yes. So here was the tip for today. We're on day 7, and it's a bonus tip. And Kasanga's here. Oh my gosh, Kasanga, the meditation guy, fire guy, is here. So so I'm going to try and talk Kasanga into joining us one night on the split screen, because he's all about mindfulness and meditation, and he can really bring us some peace and goodwill during the holidays. What do you think, Kasanga? You want to join me one night? Because I was actually thinking, so many of you have so many skills and talents that I would love for you to all get to know each other besides just seeing your name. That'd be, because I know most of you, but I love to bring people together and have you meet each other. And Jane is an amazing artist. And if Jane and Jessica met, oh my gosh, that would be really cool. So anyway, be jolly, by golly, and don't get your tinsel in a tangle. Those are my very specific Christmas type of tips tonight. But tomorrow I'll be back with a couple more tips. But in the meantime, thank you very much for joining me. And if there's any questions I might be able to answer for you regarding coaching or crabbiness or black lab puppies or anything like that, just let me know. Okay? I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Although every night is just a little bit different with the time. It kind of depends what time I get home from work. But I try to be home by 8. So anyway, I will see you tomorrow, and we'll wrap up week 2, and it'll be tip 8. It's lots of numbers. All right. See you then. Bye.